witches. It's the Virgo dark moon and the ceremony is going to start soon. This evening what I'm going to be doing is, it's a time to take stock. So it's the harvest, it's the beginning of the harvest season. We're coming up to the autumn equinox, and we are reaping the rewards of the efforts that we've put into this year. So it's time to take stock and just check in about what we've done and what we've achieved and where we're going next. And it's particularly relevant because this is basically the start of eclipse season, and the eclipses are in Virgo at the moment. They're moving, what are they moving into? They're moving into Libra. I guess they will be, yeah. Yes, they're moving into, so they're currently in Virgo Aries, is it? Pisces. Is it Virgo Pisces? Yeah, they're currently in Virgo Pisces, and they'll be moving into Libra Aries. I think it's Libra and Aries. Yeah, that would make sense. Libra Aries. So there's Pluto has just gone retrograde back into Capricorn for the next 2 months, which it's been in for like the last 20 years. And then it will be going finally into Aquarius, which it's been dipping in and out of for the last couple of years. It's been retrograding back into Capricorn. It will finally settle in Aquarius for the next 20 odd years. So this is, if ever there was one, a taking stock moment, which is what a harvest is anyway. So, you know, looking at what you've got, what you've done, what the last 20 years was all about with Capricorn, looking at the Capricorn side of things. So like your profession, money, your physical world, kind of patriarchy as well, and just like the establishments and institutions and just where you fit in with that, and how, you know, what your relationship in the world with that has been. And then kind of just doing a little stock check. Like, so if you're there with the harvest in days of old, you would look at all the things that you've grown and what what your hoard is for the year, what your harvest is for the year, and then work out what the plan is based on that. So like, we've got enough food to last this many months if we ration it out like this, like, what's the plan moving forwards? And so we're doing that on a 20-year scale with the Pluto situation. We're also doing that with the eclipses. So we've just been through I think it's like a year where we've been in the Virgo Pisces eclipse portal. Virgo is the hermit, it's the Hierophant, so it's kind of like the priest or the priestess or the nun or the monk. And then Pisces is the religion, so Pisces is spirituality. So this sort of last chunk of eclipses has been around that, and so what have you been learning from those? And then we're moving into a new set of eclipse, like we're moving signs to Libra Aries. I'm hoping I'm getting these right. I haven't actually, I'm just I'm remembering this off the top of my head, but it was something that I just suddenly thought of as I was talking to you. So that Libra Aries is the equality, wanting things to be fair and balanced. It's the scales, and Aries is very much, Libra's kind of collectively making sure everyone's like, it's very much a collective vibe. It's making sure everyone's okay and everything's okay. Aries is about the individual. It's about making sure you're okay. Aries is fire and Mars. It's really direct energy. So Aries is absolutely the individual, and Libra is more the collective and justice and that kind of thing. Those might be wrong, but I think that they're right. Let's check. I need to check this. I just checked. Yes, that is all right. So the ceremony that I'm doing tonight is about us saying thank you for what's happened so far, to give gratitude for what an amazing year we've had, the victories, the harvest, to also take stock of any issues or problems there's been. And I'm going to do this with a closing ceremony. So what we do is I have each of the 4 elements. I've got salt, water, smoke, incense and fire with a candle. And I have a scarf, and I wrap myself in the scarf and take each of the elements, like the salt, and feel and think about and connect in with all the physical things that my body, like I've physically done this year. So to say thank you for like any money in abundance I've had, what my body's been through, what's physically happened in the world and my physical experiences. And then I sprinkle the salt around me. Then I do that again with the air, with the smoke. So what I've learned, what I've intelligently learned, intellectually, sorry, communication, stuff that I've heard, ways that I've used my voice, like doing a podcast, things like that. Then fire is my will, my drive. So what I've been passionate about, what I've cared about, what things have really made my body burn with desire and joy this year. And then I've waved the fire around me. And then water is what I've learned spiritually and how I've developed spiritually. And then I sprinkle the water around me. And between each element, I wrap myself and give myself a hug. And I find doing this is a really, really useful ceremony for taking stock, stopping, having a little just moment. And it helps with, especially if you've done a big body of work. So if you finish doing a play or a performance or written a book or anything that feels like you've given birth to something, if you do this afterwards, it really helps with grounding you. And grounding and gratitude are kind of the themes for me for this dark moon. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing. And after the ceremony, I'll do a reading for you to see what the universe has got to say about our next 2 weeks and where it wants to direct us. So see you after the ceremony. Well, that was amazing. Oh, so this ceremony that we just did, I find it so useful and really good for just stopping and checking and just gratitude and grounding, which if you're listening to my podcast, then Dennis talks about that for this week. So that's what it feels like we're doing this week, gratitude and grounding. And that was really wonderful, and a wonderful way to just stop after the summer and just be like, oh, we've done that, we've done that work, and what an amazing thing that we've achieved. And yeah, to just give thanks to it all. So I feel really grounded and grateful. So gonna just pull cards for a check-in now for what we're saying going forwards, because now that feels like a full stop, clean slate, ready for the next 20 years because of Pluto, ready for the eclipse season, ready for this lunar cycle, ready for the winter and autumn. So what's the universe saying about all that? Wow, Heglaz, which is hail. So this is about this too shall pass, but it's kind of like, okay, so there might be a storm. I've actually been getting quite a lot of stuff. I've been getting Kali Ma come up a lot in my cards, and today I came up with, who was it that I got today? Oh, Lilith. Yeah, so I'm getting quite a lot of like shit's gonna hit the fan kind of vibes going on. I think this eclipse season that we're entering into, I mean, the full moon lunar eclipse that we're coming up to is Aries. That's taking no prisoners, full-blown Mars, energy. So things might be quite tough coming up. So don't worry about that. Like the whole point of eclipse season is it's to purify. Actually, for us to be ready for this next phase, we need to burn and purify that. So everything that we've said thank you to and have learned with doing the ceremony that we just did, we now need to purify. It's not just like you need to burn that shit off, like for the phoenix to rise from the ashes and for something new to happen. So it might be that this eclipse season that we're going through is going to be like last things that need sorting out. I actually can think of something now that's like, oh, actually, I should probably do something. It's like, okay, yeah, do the things, do the hard conversations, get the things in order, do the things that need doing. Because, yeah, we need to move on. And actually, yeah, that's just made me think like, okay, that needs to happen. And then this is for the physical world, which is the Tiwa, but that's being direct. So in the physical world, being direct, having the conversation, doing the thing. So if there's a thing that needs doing and it's a bit difficult, do it and be brave and let's burn this stuff off. Harvest in the communication. So with all that we've learned, and we're moving into Aquarius, which is ideas and communication and air, but this is to reap the rewards of what we've learned so far and to be ready for moving on and to explore it. But you know, speaking with the authority of all the experience that you've had. Yeah, so like you've done this work, you know what you're talking about, from like what you've learned from the last 20 years, where you're at with what you've learned this summer, where you're at with what's going on moving forwards into this eclipse season. So, and then necessity in the emotion, like in your willpower, in fire, your emotions. So this, for me, what I can see with this in terms of what's going on in the world and generally in my life as well, is that only do what's necessary. So like, don't burn yourself out, especially with the Aries vibe. That's easy. It's very frenetic, and we're in an 8th year, which is the number of life force energies. So you might have burnt out quite a lot this year. I've burnt out more than once this year, and I'm feeling pretty broken and exhausted now. I need to chill. I need to rest. Doesn't sound like I'm going to get a very restful time though, but this year is the healer. It's about healing, so it's a really good idea to look after yourself. I've given up everything for the next 6 weeks. I've given up wheat, dairy, sugar and scrolling and smoking, and I'm just like, I'm going to be pure for 6 weeks, which I feel like I need that for my sanity and for my health, but also just to not burn myself out. So this necessity is like, what's necessary. Don't say yes to all the things. Don't burn yourself out, basically. Only do what's necessary and be strong. And this is in the spiritual. Now this rune, I used to just be like, I'll be strong, and that was all I kind of had to say about it, and that's all I felt about it. But this was actually the last rune out of all 4 of the pilgrimages that I walked, and that it felt weird that this was what I got at the end, because it was the one I felt the least connection to. It was the least I had to say. It was like, be strong, you know, be strong. When I finished the 4th pilgrimage, I was so solidly strong in myself, like both physically, but also like I was the most like, I felt like Wonder Woman. I felt like a superhero. I just felt so strong. I felt like an oak tree or a mountain, and it was an inner strength. It was just, I've done the work. I feel like ultimate gratitude about being alive. I feel ultimate gratitude about the experiences that I'm having and where the universe is taking me and where I'm at in myself. And I would say since then, actually, and I only just thinking about it, but it has been since then, I now have complete positive body image. I've never, like, I mean, I get, you know, I can see and feel that I've got this little belly here and stuff. I've always had a pot belly, and I love it now. It's not even that I love it. It's like it's not something that I worry or think about anymore. And I used to always think about these things. I used to think about it a lot. It took up a lot of brain time of like feeling negative thoughts about my body and body image. And I just don't anymore. I'm so lucky to be alive, and so pleased that I'm alive, and so grateful for being alive, and to have a working body that's carrying me through life, and that it's fit and well and strong, and that I can, you know, hopefully last another big long chunk of time. I had a vision once that I lived to 114. which is 2096, I think it is, that I live to. It's a long time. So I'm not even, I think I'm like, not even a third of the way through my life yet. Where am I? 45, 80, 45, 80, 90. No, yeah, I'm not even a third of the way through my life yet. So I need to look after myself. So if this is going to last another 3 times, yeah. So take good care of yourself. And yeah, I just feel really grateful that I've at least had this long of being, you know, able to do the things that I'm able to do. And I've stopped being down on myself about it. So basically, overall, this is saying some storms are coming. There's going to be a purification. There's going to be this like fire, but what is it? Hailstorm. But the hail is water. It will melt. So don't worry. It's not actually stones, rocks. It's and water is the inner world. It's spiritual. So I'd say it's a phoenix fire. It's a cleansing. It's a purification. To be direct, to trust all that you've learned, to only do what's necessary and be solid and strong in yourself. Really feel that inner strength. Let's pull some cards for clarification. Whoop. So we've got the sun, which is twins, this full illumination, and this came up recently in a podcast. It's a unification of the inner and outer and the land, and just full illumination and enlightenment, and all the horoscopes signs. So like, it's all the stuff we've learned. So we've gone through this 20 years Capricorn. It's a new dawn. It's like we've fully experienced that, and now we're moving into something else, and you're taking all that you've learnt with you. I mean, that's what the strength felt like to me when I came out the end of the pilgrimage. So this full illumination, this full strength, this full celebration of what we've done. It's the harvest as well. Like, we've brought all this in, we've celebrated, we've had an amazing experience, and then ruin. So I'd say this is probably this storm that we've got coming, and this is the 10 of Swords. So it's going to be a mindy stuff, and it's got a fiery feel to it. So I think this is the purification thing. So it's questioning. It's like the Tower card kind of energy, like feeling like everything's falling apart. We can't, there is no like plateau of enlightenment where we sit on a deck chair and just stop and that's it. Like, oh, I've done it, you know. The Fool's journey and the Tarot's journey is that the Fool is the beginning and end. So each time you go through this hero's journey, going through all of the higher arcana of the tarot, in fact, if you went through the whole tarot, it's the whole tarot, and then you get to the end, and then you have a little brief moment of the sunshine and the illumination, and then you go off again on a new journey, and off you go again. And each time it's like peeling off layers of an onion. It gets stronger, it gets harder, it gets more, the end of level bosses get harder. It's like layers of a game. So you complete a level, and then there's the next level, and the next level's harder, and the end of level bosses are harder, but you get better wins as well. You get more of a thrill from the fact that you've succeeded or whatever, the rewards are also greater as well. So, and that's how I'm definitely feeling that. I feel like, and that I'm finding they get more nuanced and more complicated. It's less black and white. I'm no longer having good times and bad times. It's more of a marbled mix. Like, I'm having good and bad times. There are good things and bad things happening at the same time. That's what seems to be happening now more. So yeah, something's going to happen. Some purification thing is going to happen, and completion. And interestingly, it's got the Aries sign on here, and that also feels a bit like the because it's a Wheel of Fortune looking card, and lunar eclipse. We're having a lunar eclipse in Aries. and it's completion. So I'd say this thing that we're going to go through is leading up to, it's the next 2 weeks. So stuff's going to happen in the next 2 weeks in the run up to the lunar eclipse. And so to see it as a learning and guidance, you know, it's guiding us. Don't take it personally. See it as a purification. Trust the process. It's preparing us for the next chunk of stuff. And to be observant as to what it's teaching you, because that's a bit of an indicator for the next 20 years, what we're going to be doing, what we're here to discover. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a like directional nudge. So yeah, observe, treat it like a scientific experiment rather than like a soap opera. Good luck with that. I'm like, oh God. Focus with a phoenix on it. Okay, so yeah, I'm in the right direction. And also it's Virgo, which is all green. So to focus, treat this like, I mean, that's literally perfect. So Virgo is green, and that's the phoenix. My God, I've never even seen that card before. That's a new one for me. So that for me is saying, oh, and it's Holly. What that's saying to me is to, yeah, treat this like a scientific experiment, but also approach it all like a monk, like a nun. Virgo is not a wilting damsel in distress virgin. She's a nun or a monk. It's a spiritual practice. Like, it's a choice. So things like not smoking, drinking, and looking after yourself is about discipline, you know, having discipline. So treat it in a disciplined, focused way. None of it is a problem. And whatever comes up and whatever purification experience thing happens, you are learning from it, studying it, stepping outside and looking at it from an outside perspective. And it's all about truth, baby. I love this card. So it's cutting through the bullshit, getting to the truth, getting to what's really important. Being your truth, living your truth. Don't fuck around. So yeah, don't hide, don't lie to yourself. Time to cut through all the stuff. Wow, that's so beautiful. So definitely a chunky reading. Let's see which archetype goddess card wants to support us with this. Mukos, fertile timing. So fertile timing. Mukos. Let's read what Mukos has to say. Oh, Mukosh. Mokosh is known as the supreme moist Mother Earth within Slavic mythology, fulfilling a great many roles for the people throughout Europe. She is a goddess of fertility and guardian of the fate of women, woven deeply into the customs of those who worship her. Mukosh sits before her loom to spin her thread and determine the future for all of creation. Sheep are her sacred animal, granting special favour towards anyone who shows them compassion. As a patron of fertility, her followers deem it taboo to strike the ground in any way during the spring months, for Mokosh is pregnant within the earth at this time. Mokosh weaves her thread of fate into your life to help you see the perfect fertile timing unfolding around you. The essence of spring has infused your endeavours with their blessings, giving you the ability to give birth to any project or creative undertaking with the desired results. Mokosh aspires to see you succeed and will lend her guidance so you can remove your restrictions and manifest your masterpiece. Do you feel that you've become mired within maybe when thinking about your next big step? The instinct towards uncertainty is completely valid, but now is the perfect moment to take that pivotal leap forward. With the right intentions and Mokosh at your side, your fertile timing has arrived. So it's interesting because it feels like that's the opposite season. It's spring, we're in heading into autumn, but this does feel like the beginning of a new chapter and a new phase. So trusting that be, you know, to take those leaps and be brave about whatever it is you're creating, what you're saying. So this is a really good moon for setting your intentions with. So I've just done a good full stop, and this is saying we're going to purify. This is a big process we're about to head forward to, but to be brave and to set intentions. So set intentions tonight. Doesn't have to be, I wouldn't say, for me, I wouldn't say like writing a 6-year plan is a wise, I mean, you can try, but like we're entering the age of Aquarius and like, who knows what's going on, right? So I would say for me, my intentions are to surrender, to trust the unknown, to exercise the muscle of imagination, to be strong and brave, and to look after myself inwardly and outwardly so that I'm ready for whatever happens. That's my planning for the future, and I'd say that's probably more useful going forwards with how unknown the future is. The future's always been unknown, but the last 20 years in Capricorn, it was much more like you go to school, you get a job, you retire, you get a pension, like those systems are definitely crumbling, and probably in the next 20 years are going to be less given, and it's more entrepreneurial. It's more like we'll do this, we'll do that, like new things will happen, new systems, new structures, revolution, blah blah blah. So I think like 6-year plans are probably not going to be very, you can try, good luck. So yeah, I think it's more about preparation, or like kind of, yeah, development in yourself to be ready for surrendering and capitulating into the unknown. Good luck. Love you all. See you at the full moon. See you on.